Good morning, everyone, and welcome to D.I.V E, Diversity Including Various Ethnicities. So let me make sure you heard that correctly. And welcome back. Happy New Year to you and happy Black History Month. And I hope that you all had a wonderful 2022 and moving into 2023. So I am your host, Iris Denise Owens, and on the line with me is my wonderful co-chair of our DEI, our Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Council with Berkshire Hathaway, Miss Wendy Allen. Good morning, Wendy.
Good morning, Iris. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and you?
I'm well. It's a great Monday morning.
Yes, it is. And so we're going to jump right in. And so, with it being Black History Month, we thought, what better time to talk about the family business and real estate legacy and wealth? And so, Wendy, you and I have had multiple conversations about your family background in real estate. And so, I thought it great to be able to share that with others and to also share the inspiration, because to me it was inspiring listening to your story, and I just can't get enough of it. So always want to have the opportunity to share that with others. So first off, just wanted to basically, say to you, how were you influenced by real estate, and how did you end up in real estate, basically?
Well, your topic today, the family business, is kind of quite appropriate, not knowing at the time how important the family business would be.
Mm-hmm.
I actually grew up in a family of real estate brokers. So my dad started his real estate brokerage, I want to say 1978.
Okay.
And he was actually a real estate agent. Just like all of us were, he was a real estate agent. And a few years into the business, he kind of just said, "Hey, I can do that. I can open my own business." So
Correct.
he opened his own brokerage 1 mile from his old broker. Um,
Wow.
so
I love that.
And so all of my life, I grew up in, when I say I grew up in the business, it was some mornings before school, we stopped by the office, but definitely at least 4 days out of 5. Everyone else was out of school at 3 o'clock and going to daycare and going home. And I spent my afternoon and evenings in a real estate office.
Wow. So you really are the family business.
I really am the family business. That is what has influenced me. And also, in my teenage years until I graduated high school, I was my dad's receptionist. I typed contracts when we had typewriters.
Okay.
When we didn't have, good copiers or good scanners or a fax machine. So everything was just kind of done hands-on. And so that is really unknowingly to me, but I'm sure knowingly to him, that's how
Right.
that's how I started.
So have you done anything else in life prior to being real estate? Or was it just like, I'm here, I'm learning this business, like you said, unknowingly that you were being nurtured and trained to be able to execute this in life? But did you work in corporate America? Did you do something else before becoming a realtor and a broker?
Well, no. Um,
I love that. You just like you thought about it, you're like, no, not really.
Well, and like my brother, my sister, and myself, we all
Mhm,
said to daddy, we're not going to go into the family business. No, thank you.
mhm.
And I think a lot of people do that when they look at their parents. And so I was going to be an architect. So I thought, I was like, no, this isn't for me. But I'll tell you, my dad was always in my ear of, you want to be an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
You want to work for yourself. You can still help people, you can have a great life, but why not look at opportunities where you can set your own goals?
Correct.
And no one else set those goals for you. And, when I look back at his career and everything that he has done, that's exactly what he showed us to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so, when I did enter the workforce, I still couldn't prove him right. And I said, I'll just go into commercial real estate.
Okay.
Felt
Okay.
like, Daddy, you were wrong. I'm going to go into commercial real estate. And he just laughed. He laughed. He was like, okay, still real estate. You realize that.
Right. Absolutely.
And so that,
Absolutely.
that's about honestly, that's about the biggest transition that I had. I started my career in commercial real estate because in my mind, I wasn't doing
You
president.
wasn't doing what Daddy was doing. You thought
Doing what he
you were
told me
being
to do.
you were being an innovator and doing your own
Yeah,
thing.
I'm doing Daddy, I'm just, even though in his career, while he had his brokerage, he ended up being in commercial real estate. He owned
Wow.
several, strip shopping centers in Decatur,
Mm-hmm.
Georgia. He owned an office park in Decatur, Georgia. Um,
Okay.
and so he was already doing commercial real estate before I even thought about doing it. So I did, but he did it on his own terms. And I
Mm-hmm.
actually did go to work for a German-based company and I
Okay.
did commercial real estate and I learned so much.
Right.
Uh, I learned, different aspects of how to run a business. I learned about leasing and negotiating. And then I realized that was my passion, leasing and negotiating leases. And
Mm-hmm.
so I learned a lot during my time working for that commercial brokerage, but it still fell on. Listen, every day, if I had a problem driving home, I'd call my dad and still get advice. So,
Yes.
I was still in real estate, but I thought it was on my own terms. But he was
Absolutely.
always there nurturing me the entire time I was there.
So, with that being said, I'm sure you would say so your father was your biggest influencer in your life in order to, well, to lead you to where you are today. But
Oh yeah.
I want you to talk a little bit about your journey in real estate and where you are right now, because I think it's like it's a great testimony of when you put the work in and the legacy that our parents build for us and then that they leave it in our hands to continue building. And what I'm talking about is like the offices that you brokerage right now,
Mhm.
one specifically. I want you to share with us that history behind that office.
Oh, well, you're talking about our historic College Park office. Um, and thank you, Iris. I'll start off by, you're asking about the influence and kind of the legacy, and kind of what was instilled in all three of us, my brother, my sister, and myself, is, um, we're in the business of customer service. There's no way around it.
Correct.
And growing up, um, eating in restaurants, visiting stores, working with consumers all in the neighborhood that we grew up, our neighbors, our friends, our doctors, our dentists. I can just very vividly remember my father always leaving his business card somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And to our kids, it's quite irritating because we're like, why are you always having people call you? So and we had no idea, but when I look back on it, it's a testament of he was teaching us that he is in the customer service business.
Right.
This business of being a realtor or a realtist is about customer service. So
Mm-hmm.
don't step out of the door um, every day with a self-serving attitude. You
Mm-hmm.
have a customer service-based attitude. And so, that journey kind of led me to, yes, where I am today, because as a realtor, and this, Iris, the client comes first.
Absolutely.
Our clients are just such a joy. And when I look back on my dad's, basically teaching us, hey, you need to let someone know what you're doing so you can help them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can help them. And so I'll tell you, when I joined the Berkshire Hathaway family, It was actually Deanne Golden, who is our president and CEO right now, that actually tapped me on the shoulder.
Mhm.
And she is a second generational realtor. But she tapped me on the shoulder because my conversation with her is, hey, all I want to do is help agents. I'm helping clients, I can help agents also. And she was the one who actually put together the footprint and the floor plan along with Dan Forsman, our chairman, which is how we ended up in our historic College Park office. And
Mhm.
I'll tell you that historic College Park office is special for two reasons. The first reason is because Deanne and Dan and I searched for office locations in the middle of the pandemic.
Mhm.
While other brokerages were stopping, laying off people, not moving forward,
Mhm.
Dan and Deanne had that mindset and that passion of we're Berkshire Hathaway. We're going to be fine. We started this journey before the pandemic, and we're going to keep going. And so we literally spent time, looking for office locations. And one of the locations we came across one day was a building in historic College Park, which is actually 2 miles away from my high school, Woodward Academy, that my brother and sister and I graduated from.
Mhm.
And we're in the building, and it is, dark carpet. You could tell it was an old bank building.
Yes.
Um, and we're all standing there around us in this building. And my brother and I realized that was my father's banking building. It used to be a Bank South.
Mhm.
We don't have Bank South here in Georgia anymore. I think they were bought by Bank of America.
Mhm.
In the vault, there is an actual vault in our office. And the vault has all of the, what is it, safe deposit boxes. And they
Mhm.
still have Bank South keys in them. And because we were like, could this be true? Is this the
Yes.
same place? And this is literally the place that when Daddy would pick us up from school, he would need to go to the bank to deposit closing checks.
Absolutely.
It is the same exact bank that I visited all of my life growing up. I asked the lady for a lollipop. I put checks in the night deposit box. This is a place that we had already spent our
Mhm.
lives growing up 2 miles away from our high school. And it just brought chills to my brother and I that we had already been here before.
Right.
And it just happened. And I'll tell you, opening that building, my first opportunity to be a broker, and having it be at the building that he was at every single day it was pretty special. And the grand opening of that day, I remember Dan Forsman opening up with a prayer, and mentioning and referencing Daddy. And so yeah, that was the first office
Yes.
that we opened under myself being a broker.
And for me, it's not just legacy, but it's destiny. Right? It's like how for God put a plan in place. Your father, your earthly father, followed that plan, and then it all just came back to you without any, like, I'm sure you weren't ever thinking, okay, one day, like, you decided, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and be a realtor. But I'm sure you didn't figure out in your mind, oh, I'm gonna work in the same place that my father walked and met clients and showed me this business. And so my question to you was also, what lessons do you feel, I mean, so many, I'm sure, but what do you think were the greatest lessons that working with your father and your father being a realtor in this business in 1978 and then going into his own brokerage, what did it instill in you? What did it teach you?
Well, it instilled and taught a lot. It still always comes back to, we are in the service business. So, if you do not have that passion, you don't have to be in the service business, but
Mhm.
It was just instilled with us, and he was always so happy and just so proud of helping people. And when we look back, there's so many lessons we learned that I'm still implementing today. I don't laugh, but I think about it often.
Mhm.
When we have classes or when we have speakers, my brother Robert and I are fortunate enough to have lived it. Uh,
Mhm.
we're fortunate enough to have lived the lessons that we are seeing being taught today. Uh,
Yes.
we grew up on Sundays, we would take a different way home. And we'd say, well, Daddy, why are we taking a different way home? Because so he could see different houses. He wanted to see
Correct.
different neighborhoods. And if you relate it till today, what do we teach our agents? We teach our agents how to farm, except
Absolutely.
for they have tools now to farm. And Daddy had no tools. He just drove around and he'd see a for sale by owner sign, and we'd say, well, why are you bothering these people? Why are you writing down their phone number? He's like,
Mhm.
they need our help and they just don't know it yet.
Mhm.
And it's the same concept that we teach our agents. Do you have a listing today? Not yet. You are going to help someone today. It's so many things. Even now, brokering an office and being able to help agents. Um, my sister and I kind of laugh because we've got sales meetings. My father had a sales meeting every Tuesday night at 7.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
post your listings and your sales on the board. I was the person that posted the listings and the sales on the board for Daddy, except for we had a chalkboard.
Yeah.
So it's like everything that we're kind of, lessons that you read, I can go back to, people thought it was so strange that I'm listening to real estate cassette tapes in my car. It's the
Mhm.
same thing that we're doing today. We've got Ninja Selling or Tom Ferry or Sherry Johnson. They're all
Right.
training and coaching opportunities that we provide here for our agents. So I think the biggest lesson that I can see is things are different, but they still kind of stay the same. They
Correct.
they still absolutely kind of stay the same. Um, you know, Everybody uses the word mindset,
Mhm.
but we grew up. My dad instilled with us a mindset. A
Yeah.
mindset of you can do this. One of the reasons why I was excited to become a broker is I don't really think there's an answer of no. If somebody says deal fell through or this deal isn't going well, um,
Mhm.
it is my honor to be there to help them. And so those are some of the lessons, just basic lessons of mindset and helping people are definitely, I was learning this lesson all along and didn't even know it.
Mhm. Your father left amazing breadcrumbs.
Oh,
He
still, still,
he left amazing breadcrumbs that, for lack of a better word, that you were still eating off of today and
absolutely.
feeding other people. I mean, that's prophetic to me. I mean, your love of what you do and your love to want to help and help other people grow to their best potential and really living the best of their lives and seeing what they have inside of them, even when they may be afraid and thinking, I can't do this.
Mhm.
Um, you're always so encouraging, Wendy. I have called you on numerous occasions and go like, hey, Wendy, this has happened. You're like, okay, so, and you don't ever see it as the negative. You go
Yeah.
straight to the, what are we going to do now? No
Right.
time to focus on, what has happened, but where do you go from here? And in this business, in this type of business, and in any type of business where you are dealing with individuals and customer service, I think that is one of the things that we are lacking so much, and meaning that we don't see the customer, we see the deal. and
Right.
and you can't be in customer service and only see the deal. You have to see the people. And
Yeah.
when you're talking about buying a home, we all know this is like one of the largest, greatest purchase that someone will make in their life, sometimes only once, sometimes multiple times. But if you want to build rapport, you have to be able to build, people have to know that you really care about them.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
that part. You have to
That
really,
part.
yes.
Yeah.
So,
it's the most important part.
Yeah.
Um, I think about, you know, eating at our local restaurant, the waitresses, the cooks, Daddy was handing out these cards. And I'm like, why are, and he's like, everybody deserves to own a home. And
Mhm.
I'm going to show them how to do it.
Yes.
And, it is a testament. I could be eating dinner at the local Piccadilly at the mall. And a month later, the people that worked in the restaurant were in the office. I come in, I'm like, I know her from somewhere. Well, we know
Yes.
her because
Yes.
Daddy would always make sure to say, when you're ready, give me a call, give me a call, give me a call. And, sometimes he would just sit there and talk to people about owning a home. He was doing home buyer seminars before there were home buyer seminars. So, you know, the customer has to come first because that's the joy of the deal.
Absolutely.
That is the joy of the deal. And then if you really kind of even look at today of kind of what is going on, I remember my brother just saying last week he did an amazing number of 52 transactions last year.
Wow,
He
that's
did
awesome.
52 transactions. But what's even more amazing is 40 plus of those transactions were referral business.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have a know, like, and trust
Yes.
in real estate. And it's just a testament of what Daddy kind of taught and instilled with us. And if you've got 40 plus people that are referral pieces of business, then you have
Yes.
a job well done.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
the people that you have helped over the last 5 years, the last 10 years, they turn to you as their trusted real estate advisor.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the main, in Ninja, they say, what is it, TSW, this stuff works. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I have to say it's a testament of what my father did. This stuff works. It absolutely works.
So with that being said, and you have given a lot of nuggets. So those of you listening in, I hope you were taking notes because I'm certainly taking notes. I just want you all to know that I'm not being distracted. I'm writing my notes over here. So with that being said, what do you think, or what would you say, what advice, what wisdom would you want to leave with those that are going to tune in and listen to this podcast and this conversation that we have had? What
Um,
what do you think, someone coming into the business or someone that's in the business that, may be struggling or just hasn't found their niche yet? What would you say?
I would start off by saying mindset. And I know that's something we all focus on today, but if I have to look back, you're asking me about my family, and what has been instilled. Um, when I look back on it, I think my brother and sister and I can say sometimes Daddy was a little tough on us.
Mm-hmm.
Tough love. And what he was tough about was the mindset. Every summer, I had to read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And that wasn't fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
And he would, he could tell if I read it because, of course, he had read it. So he's asking me, and so, but, the point is, he was trying to get me to have a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Everything he did was a mindset. How you show up, it's your mindset. How you treat people, it's your mindset. So I would say, the people that are starting off in this business, it's going to be an exciting career, but you have got to have a good mindset, which is, why it's so beautiful to be a part of this company, because that is one of the main things that we are focusing on, making sure agents have the right mindset. And it's really cool now to see, you take an agent that before they've had mindset training and after they've had mindset training and after they've decided to get a coach, and you get to see how their business has grown 10%, 20%, 30%.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really, I think if you have the right mindset, then you can definitely soar in this business. And also too, take away the mindset I have is, your career is unstoppable in real estate.
Absolutely.
There is not a ceiling. that license is, your opportunity to help people, but it's also an opportunity for you to help your family build generational wealth, teach your kids, the joy of helping people. I had the pleasure of putting out signs yesterday for our top producers, and actually one of them it was Jessica.
Yes.
And I put the sign out, and I looked down at my message, and it just warmed my heart. She said, "My son said, Mommy, there's a sign for you in the yard." And I said, "You know what, Jessica?" I said, "We're going to be putting signs out for him before you know it."
Yes, absolutely.
It is generational.
It is.
She references sometimes he's on appointments with her. That's exactly how I grew up in this business.
Mhm.
I saw the beginning of working with the client. And then I got to see the joy of, I got to see inspections. I got to see,
Yes.
some deals fall through. Back then we didn't have the fancy lock boxes. So I've dealt with all of that. I have I ran into my dad's 20-year closing attorney a few years back, and he shared stories of, your dad kept my doors open. Uh,
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
your dad was closing everything in DeKalb County. And it's just know, like, and trust. So, the advice I would give people is really have that strong mindset. If you need a mentor, if you need to tune into coaching, you can build a successful business. I don't know if Daddy my grandmother used to say, "I don't know where your father came from. He's just,
She's
she
like, he didn't get any of that from me. Was that what she was saying?
was a same person. I mean, she was such a people person.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah, actually, our second office that I have the pleasure of managing is in the Cascade area, and
Correct.
I cannot leave this building without going somewhere on Cascade without somebody knowing my grandmother that passed away a few years ago. So it's really just a testament of always, being ready to serve. Uh,
Yes,
and so I think if people have that right mindset and you surround yourself with people that have that right mindset, that are positive, and that want to help you grow. This business is such a great opportunity to do all of those things.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you are a great community builder, Wendy. You, like I said, you keep people encouraged. You have so much knowledge and wisdom, and just being able to sit with you and talk with you. I always walk away with something I didn't know before, or even if it's something that I knew, you give me a mindset of, let me think about that differently. All right. So that is what we are here to do. And so I really appreciate you coming with and joining us today and talking. Jessica, we miss you today, but we know that you'll be back next week. So hope all is well. And Wendy, any final words?
Well, I just want to thank you for having me on your podcast.
Well, thank
It's been a
you.
long time coming, and I know we've had tons of conversations, and you're like, "Oh, you have to get onto the podcast." So
Absolutely.
really appreciate the opportunity to be a guest on your podcast. And, thank you for all of the work that you're doing here with our Georgia Properties DEI Council. Thank you for serving as co-chair. Thank you for your leadership. And then, on top of that, congratulations on being a top producer.
Well, thank you, Wendy. And we didn't talk about, and I'm sorry, I think in the beginning, I say you were our DEI chair. I did say that of our DEI chair, a chair of our DEI council for Berkshire Hathaway. I do believe I said that in the beginning. So also we want to encourage those of you who are interested in finding out more about DEI, please tune in, share, join us. But we all have a role to play. And so we thank you all so much. Wendy, have an amazing day. And I really appreciate you.
All right. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you.